All right, Mix 1041, MixTV.tv. Bridget Forrester here with you, joined by our friends from Allon Planning Partners, Jay and Brittany Hagee here in the studio. Great to see both of you.
Hey Bridget, good to see you.
Yeah, so let's get back to the basics here. Let's start from the very beginning. Why do you all do what you do at Allon Planning Partners?
That's a question we've actually been getting a lot lately. And, we've been putting ourselves out for quite a few years now, whether it's on radio or TV or podcasting or however, through educational events and workshops for over a decade now. And sometimes we find it's just good to go back and say, why do we do what we do? Why did we even get in this industry to begin with? And so Allon is very unique in that we are independent fiduciary only advisors, meaning that we only work for our clients. We don't work for a big box brokerage firm. We work for our clients on the same side of the table in order to get financial plans for them put together so that they know they have the peace of mind to whether it's in retirement or am I saving enough right now? Do I have a good tax plan? Is my estate in order? So if something were to happen to me, that the people that I love get the funds that we have. We really wanted to let people know, one, we're different in that way, but two, the reason we started is because I was in full-time ministry. Brittany and I both served in full-time ministry capacities, and as I was in an executive pastor role, I was seeing a lot of families who had questions on finances. One of the biggest agreements or disagreements in a marriage a lot of time is based around this thing called money, right? And it's like, how do we do money together and how do we do it better? So as we were counseling families for years in this, we determined, man, there is a need for education when it comes to financial literacy, not just in the church, but outside the four walls of the church that we serve in. And so we took some steps of faith and decided, well, let's start a business based on helping educate folks, not only where they're at today, but how to get to a better tomorrow.
And
that's where we started.
That's been our heart from the beginning, has been all about education and really raising awareness around these concepts and these strategies for investing and planning and saving and paying down debt and retirement, right? Saving for your future. All of these things, making sound financial decisions. When we were working in full-time vocational ministry, we had so many folks within our lives who we just saw questions. We saw questions, and they maybe would have a broker, or maybe they had
an insurance
a
agent.
Life insurance agent, right? But there wasn't somebody to kind of help bring some cohesiveness to
maybe they had an
plan.
attorney or a CPA,
None of those things were working together, and most of the time they didn't have anything besides an investment or like a 401k, right? And even that, they're like, I don't know how to choose what's in here. My HR department just says I just have to pick between balanced and moderate and aggressive, and and so we began to realize, okay, there's a lot of questions circling around these concepts, and thought maybe we can be part of the solution in our little neck of the woods in the world, right? And so we began building this, and Allon Planning Partners was birthed.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of folks without clarity, and that causes a lot of angst. That causes a lot of anxiety. There's no peace involved whenever there's a lot of uncertainty, right? The markets even themselves don't like uncertainty. They like whether it's going to be certain bad or certain good. They know which way to go, but markets do not like uncertainty. People do not like uncertainty. We like to have clarity. We like to understand there's a clear path to get to where I want to go. And the unfortunate part is a lot of times people don't know who to trust in this area. They don't know, do I trust my lawyer? Do I trust my CPA? Do I trust my banker maybe or my broker? And that's why we exist in this independent space, because we like quarterbacking plans and giving education around all the areas in your financial picture, whether that's taxes, whether that's estate, whether that's investment advice, whether that's healthcare planning or income planning in retirement. All these areas need to be covered, and folks really need a quarterback. And we saw that need, and we love doing what we get to do. And so it's really to bring clarity and peace of mind around, am I ready to retire? What do I do with the investments I have now? how do I pay Uncle Sam less than what he's asking me to pay? And really to have a quarterback on your team that's on your side that's trying to move the ball down the field for your financial future.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we have created, like we talked about, all kinds of different resources to help folks navigate. One of these things is a tax calculator to help you really get through
That's right.
The tax issue. It's exchangemytaxbill.com. Again, exchangemytaxbill.com. It's a simple questionnaire. You input some data and it helps you strategize around taxes, gets you thinking about your taxable liability in retirement. Another tool is a retirement ready quiz. Visit allonquiz.com, ALLON quiz.com, and it'll ask you a series of questions to help you see really where you fall on this scale of readiness for your retirement. For those of you listening today who are local and are in Cleveland or Chattanooga or surrounding cities like Ottawa or Saudi Daisy or wherever in the region, we have workshops available from Cleveland, Chattanooga, all the way down to Atlanta through into Georgia that we offer every month that really just offer education. If you're thinking, man, maybe there's some more I'd like to learn about with regard to this topic, go to our website, allonplanning.com, ALLON planning.com. And on our events tab, you'll see a list of our upcoming workshops, different locations, different times of day. We try and work it for any type of work schedule you may have. So we have some at lunch, we have some at evening, we have some Saturday mornings, we have them all times of day, days of the week, to try and, again, get information in your hands to help resource you.
Yep.
Because you don't have to go it alone.
So simply said, we exist to bring education to our clients so that they have clarity and they have understanding and they have a sense of peace about the future because they now can get a plan. They now can say, I don't have to go chase down this person and this piece of the plan and that piece of the plan. We put it all together under one roof, and that's why we exist. We exist for clarity, we exist for education, and we exist really for convenience of our clients so that they don't have to wonder and they don't have to have a sense of dread, but they can have peace surrounding their financial future.
And maybe a good way to kind of wrap up this conversation, we know there are so many things within our world we cannot control. All that's going on.
There's a lot.
Yes, within the world, and wars, all kinds of issues that are happening.
Yeah.
We can't control any of that. We can't control inflation. We can't control how the markets respond to that. But we can control our positioning. We can control how we're saving. We can control proactively planning for our financial futures. And when we have done our part, when we have been responsible, when we have made sound financial choices and prepared for the future, we can walk forward with a bit more peace of mind, knowing that, hey, there's a lot I can't control, but I've done my part to be as best prepared as I can. And we find that really helps bring some stability to the financial lives and mental lives, right? Emotional lives of the family.
We all need that.
Right. Yeah. We're talking with Jay and Brittany Hagee, Allon Planning Partners. Before we go, tell us about the name Allon and what that means, where that came from.
Allon is actually from Scripture. It is Psalm 1. It's a Hebrew word for oak tree. And it basically talks about a tree that's planted by the water that even in times of drought, it bears fruit in all seasons, every season. So when we created Allon over a decade ago, we decided we want this to mean something. And it's want that deeper meaning of like stability and strength. And it's because that if you have roots deep down that catch water even in drought, right, that if you have a plan, if you have something in place that you can lean on and you have peace, even in times of drought and chaos and volatility, you can move forward and you can have peace and you can bear fruit even in those seasons. That's what Allon means, and that's what we hope to bring to every client that we serve.
All right, that's wonderful. That's Jay and Brittany Hagee, Allon Planning Partners. Again, allonplanning.com. Great to see both
Thank
of
you,
you.
Bridget.
We'll see you soon.
Glad to be here. See you soon.
Thanks.
Investment advisory services are offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The content provided is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific investment opportunity, offering or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns is not indicative of future results. Each individual investor's situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Foundations only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. No legal or tax advice is provided. Always consult with a tax professional